Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire Podcast.
What's up, Facebook land? What's up, YouTube? I am coming to you live from Puerto Rico, and super excited to be here. Albie's going to be joining us, and I know why he's calling me is because I did not share with him a link to join me here today. So let me do that real quick. And we're going to talk about some things today. A lot of fun, man. 4 years eXp. I want to talk about some things, how it's really changed my life. And we're going to go through some numbers, and you're going to hear some really crazy stuff. That is why I just put the disclosure in the comments. So revenue share disclosure from eXp for some of the things I might say or might not say today. I don't want to get in any trouble. So we put that in there ahead of time. So get ready for some fun here, and let me get Albie here real quick. I know that's exactly what he wants. So we'll shoot this over to him real quick. Everybody say hi in the comments so I can say, so I know who's here. I can actually see y'all's names in this one. So, and if you've joined us at eXp, you let me know. If you're with us, if you're on board, what you like, what you don't like. Mr. Reese is calling me. Blowing up. It's blowing up. Put that somewhere else. I don't have to listen to it. Ringing. Let's see here. All right, he should have it now. So right on. So yeah, so some of the things I want to talk about. Man, let me tell you, the worst thing that you could be is a level 10 player and a level 5 opportunity. That's something my coach taught me, recently said, and a friend of mine actually shared it with me today. And all I can tell you is being in a level 10 opportunity and being a level 10 player is the best place you could possibly ever be. And that is definitely where we are sitting here at eXp. So in the 4 years that we've been at eXp, it's been crazy, right? So you saw the post. If you read the contents of the post, it's pretty unbelievable. When we joined eXp, it was 5,000 agents, a little under 5,000 agents, I want to say. It was today that I posted. If you haven't watched the actual post from when I went live 4 years ago, it's worth watching. I think seeing, what we saw, right? And then watching it materialize is something pretty fantastic to actually experience. But it is what it is, right? Like that's this, we were sharing truth in the moment of what we saw in a business model that has never existed before. So certainly has been better in every possible way than I could have expected. Let's just see and make sure Al got his email. Here he is. I heard him pop in here. So I could have expected. There you go. There you go. What's happening, my friend?
Hey, happy number 4 anniversary.
Yeah, appreciate it. 4 years old, man. That's it's good to be so young. Good to be so young.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mentioned it. I mentioned in my post how, I feel like decades fly by, right? Anymore. I'm on my 3rd decade in real estate, but 4 years in the blink of an eye. And I mentioned one of Coach's phrases a second ago, the worst thing you could be is a level 10 player in a level 5 opportunity. And I think all of us that are entrepreneurial can appreciate that. When you're a level 10 player, you want a level 10 opportunity. And I want to kind of share some of the things we've experienced the last 4 years as it relates to what we thought and what it actually has been. I'm curious what your thoughts are on what we saw. Obviously you got me to join. So grateful for that. What did we see back then, and where are we today? What's your take on that?
So my take is that we didn't know, even when we were convinced that this was really the best model, there were still a lot of things that we didn't see. And at least for me, and I joined straight up because of the revenue share, and I was a terrible recruiter. As proof of that, I had a total of 10 or 12 agents tops at my brokerage because I just didn't have a system for recruiting. And I really didn't have, my value proposition just wasn't strong enough to compete with the big boys. We were an independent, small boutique brokerage. And so, I joined because of that. I didn't really fully see. You said we were in Jackson Hole, Wyoming at our mastermind, and you and I were up in front presenting why we moved our brokerages over to the group. And you used a phrase that I'll never forget, and I use it today and I repeat it, and that's financial alignment. And I know it sounds like such a big deal, financial alignment, but that's when it all clicked. It's not so much some people don't even get excited about revenue shares. Some people don't really get that excited about stock because they don't understand it. But what it does, what do those two components do? It aligns us financially. Beer used it well. He talked about access. You have access to the top coaches, the top real estate agents, the top team leaders, the top brokers, who are all bringing their businesses over and growing it on this platform, and where they can do it anywhere. They're brokers. They can open up their independent shop. They can buy one of the franchises. They can do really whatever they want, but they choose to bring their business to this platform, link arms with us, and grow with us. And it wasn't until like 7-8 months into our journey here where it clicked. Like, here's the reason why. Not everybody comes for the same reasons that we do,
right.
But what they find out that they didn't know is that alignment is so strong. It's almost an intangible thing. You can't really.
Yeah, it's an intrinsic. It's
Yeah.
It's like next gen stats, right?
Yes. And what's so cool is I'm reading some of these comments. Is the one was on board from Portugal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who imagined like 4 years ago that we'd be talking to one of our agents in Portugal?
Rodolfo, yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. And yeah, it's every day having conversations international, which is, even I didn't think that was I never really saw that as the opportunity. But it absolutely is the opportunity. It's just an enormous opportunity for anybody who knows anybody in an international side of things. So I wanted to share a little bit. So I posted I don't think people have any idea how much the opportunity is. I remember Glenn Sanford saying to us, at the first time I ever met him, which was at the event prior to us joining eXp Con 2017, I believe, November, October, somewhere in there, maybe a little earlier. And he said, there's going to be people that make $1 million a month in revenue share in this company. We're going to be happy to pay them. And he was noted as saying, we made this opportunity so big that the right kind of people are going to help us join the company. What a brilliant way to be thinking. Number one, I never in any of my businesses thought I'm going to offer to pay so much that you could not see yourself doing anything but this opportunity. I never thought that way. It was the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. And while we're not quite there yet at $1 million a month, I am telling you, it is unbelievable where we are. And so I was just pulling up the numbers for the year. There's a revenue share disclosure that's posted in the document. If you want to know what the average agent at eXp makes in revenue share, you should click on that. I have no idea what the actual number is, but I'm not looking for average people. By the way, I'm looking for people that are playing at level 10. So keep that in mind. That being said, everybody can make a little bit of revenue share. And so the number of transactions this year, this is just my bucket, not just yours. Yours would be obviously very similar to this. So the number of transactions we've been paid on this year, how many transactions do you think our team at eXp did so far this year?
My guess,
I would have guessed way off. I would have been way off.
I think that it's going to be something like, I think it's going to be.
It's so funny. It's hard to do the math on that.
30,000?
58,444 transactions. So
58,000.
58,444 transactions. And that's we got 2 months, that haven't happened yet. So somewhere, last month, this last month was 8,330, 8,314. We're at 4,000 transactions, 4,071 this month. So it hasn't, about half of that. So we got that's been tabulated. So that's probably another 4,000, I would guess, plus 8, so 16, probably 20, another 20,000. So probably real close to 78 to 80,000 transactions this year. That
not including Mike's 7th, right?
No, not including another. Geez, I don't even know what that would be. Another 20,000, 30,000 transactions, I'm sure. So yeah, probably close to. We probably will hit close to 100,000 transactions when you factor that extra tier on Mike's level. So wow, right? Like holy moly, that's a lot of deals. And you know, somebody said it the other day, and I was trying to pull up the numbers for the quarterly. You know, we have you know, and I made the comment in the post, you probably saw it, right? Of all the things people used to say, you know, revenue share is not sustainable. It's a penny stock. Who's eXp? Those are all the things that we battled early on, and certainly not the case today. But the revenue, I think we did $1 billion in revenue in Q2, and so I'm way off. I'm going to be way low on this number, but we're going to do at least $2 billion in revenue this year as a company, and $2 billion in revenue, that means that we're guaranteeing to pay out $1 billion in revenue share. So $1 billion in revenue share. So I don't know how much of that you would like to have. I would just like to have a small part of that, and that'd be great. But that's the kind of opportunity this is you know, to help grow this company. You are compensated by the production of the agents that you bring on, and right. That is it makes it a really good reason for you to learn the skill of how to bring agents on to eXp. I will tell you that. And we do have systems for that, but I thought that was pretty crazy. And this book, you know, just the number I'm going to give it, even though I'm not going to show it, I can't show it, but I'm going to give it because I gave the disclaimer. This year alone, $3,258,863.11. And so that is in a high margin business unit that doesn't have a lot of time, effort, and energy that really truly has to go into. I would consider that passive income. And as our coach says, Coach Burr says, I don't care. Someday in your life, I don't know when it is, but someday in your life, you're going to be looking for passive income. I don't know when you want to start. You might want to start now. But someday when you are, if you're in real estate, then you'd be crazy not to be at eXp. That's the bottom line. So, and all of that, go ahead.
No, go ahead. All that what?
Well, I was going to say, this is a byproduct of living by the one thing that we've always lived by, which is how do we add value to the most people's lives that we can, and do that over and over and over again. So, like, I want to underscore that as the number that is how, right? The business model allows us to do it. The platform allows us to do it. But our focus is with agents that join. How do we add value? How do we add value? How do we add value? How do we make you never want to leave? How do we help you with revenue share? How do we help you with hitting your numbers as far as your production? Like, if we focus on doing those things, this stuff over here happens, right? And so, I don't want to just talk about numbers and people think the numbers are all that matters. The only reason that we're able to do that is because the entire group focuses on adding value to people's lives. And if you're here, you know that. And if you're not here, you'll know that when you come.
Yeah. What's cool to reflect back on was 4 years ago, I flew down to Dallas, and you, John Kitchens, Mike Reed, and myself, and I think Holly might have been in the room too. We locked ourselves in that room. I think it was at the Dallas Club? No, it was at another shared workspace type of thing. And we whiteboarded it out, and we said, what's our strategy going to be? And one of the strategies was, we're going to add more value than anybody else. We think that if we can add more value to this equation, we're going to win. And as a result of us adding that, everyone else is going to win. That's a win-win when you're adding value to people's lives and to their businesses. And we were committed to adding more value than anybody else. Like, that's the game we were playing. Right. It wasn't to make more money than anybody else. It was to add, because you can't do that until you make the deposits. So Our goal was to make it more and bigger deposits than anyone else. And we felt like that strategy could win. Our second strategy was influencers and people who are already adding value to the lives of real estate agents. We wanted to partner with them. And that's our winning formula. I say it all the time. When people ask, like, so how did you guys get to where you're at? Like, what did you do? Well, we did that. And that's not the answer everyone wants to hear. A lot of people they're looking for the other silver bullet or another silver bullet or something like that. But I think that that's what helped us win. And And it's because we committed to helping others win bigger. We committed to helping others win faster. And as a result of that, this model compensates you well for that strategy, And I just want to add one more thing. What Glenn had said was he wanted to build a model that was so good that it would be financially irresponsible to hang your license anywhere else. And I believe that he achieved that. Yeah, and there's other models, right? Like, so there's other models, and now there's copycatters out there and this and that. But the fact is that you have the best coaches, you have the best thought leaders, the best leaders in our industry are all bringing their organizations on our platform. They're all linking arms with us, which just makes our value proposition better for the agent who's looking to grow. Right. We were grinding on this today, Jay. Like we're building out a new video series, and we're noodling on it and shooting ideas around. And we talk about this all the time. What's the number one thing we can help agents do? What's the number one problem that we can help them solve? Coach says this all the time. There can't be a sale unless a problem is solved. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I think what we've kind of collectively agreed on was that the number number two things, the things that agents get the most stuck on is I can get all the tools and the technology. What do I do with them once I have them? How do I write things in the right order? And could I have somebody maybe looking over my shoulder as I'm doing these and making these decisions with confidence so that I know that I'm making the right decision and I'm growing in the right direction. And I think we've been able to do that. Thankfully, we've really been able to link up with some really strong people, and the list is a long list, man. When you look at the list from Curtis Johnson to Chuck Fazio to Mark Z. I mean, we can just keep going. Dan Bill, Kyle Whistle. These are all thought leaders that are respected in our space long before we were, partnered with them. And, and it's just a blessing, man. It's just
it is. This is evidence of the quality of people that have, thankfully decided to join us more than it is anything. But when you put that kind of group together, and I don't want us to leave off on our copycatters, because I do want to make a couple points, because I think there's a couple of influencers out there that think that they're just late to the game, and there's nothing that can be further from the truth. Period. In terms of that, and I can show you that in a lot of different ways. But a big piece of this when if we're talking about competition, there's really one that I know of, and that's Real. And they're small, they're tiny, they're not even really on the map. So they're fortunate I'm giving them some airtime today. But that opportunity has only 5 generations of revenue share. Number one. My 7th level alone is so if you're an influencer, if you're a level 10 player, you're giving up the lion's share of the opportunity in that business model, period. That's just number one. But the major number one reason why you would never choose Real over eXp is everything that we've done to build eXp and attract the best people in the industry is not allowed at Real. You can't offer free coaching and adding value to the agents that join with you there. They don't allow it. So if you're an influencer and you have additional value to add and bring to the table, you're not allowed to even use that to try to attract agents to come join the company. And let me tell you how hard it would have been to do what we did without that. It would have been impossible. It would have been absolutely impossible. The reason that people will tip over and come join, hey, yeah, I might save a little money. Man, I'm going to end up with some stock. Those are all good things. But to get someone to uproot and leave a company and come join and partner with you, you got to add even more value than that. And they got to believe that they have someone that's going to help them get there. And if you can't communicate that, then it's not really an opportunity. And I think that's the biggest difference. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Al, but you'd be crazy if you're an influencer or if you're a top agent to choose an opportunity because you think there's no opportunity here. We're just getting started. A million agents, 10 years, 100 countries. Let's go.
Let's go. The only thing that I would add would be the other side of that coin. So you were talking about you were just speaking to the influencer. You were just speaking to the builder, the person who's out there already building an organization and they're considering moving it over and starting to build with us. What about the people who you're going to build with? the agents who are going to follow you, the agents who are going to want to come with you, and they're going to come with you for a reason because they want your help. One of the reasons why Honey Badger Nation is as strong as it is, the culture, like people, they love being a part of it. I would dare to say almost as much as being at eXp, it's right up there, right? Is because we pour into them. We pour into their business. We pour into them. We help them. We make ourselves available to them. We give them resources to win. And if you were to be able to just chop that out of the equation, it's like cutting our legs off, right? Like,
right.
What then? Is it stock? Is it revenue share? A lot of people don't join because of those reasons. No. Like they're like, I don't care about that. I've heard this a million times. Look, Al, I'm not a recruiter. I don't care about that. I'm not even into stock. I don't even understand how stock works. Not into it, right? So why else would they come? Is it because of the split? You can get better splits anywhere. I mean, you can get, that's the split game's a race to the bottom. We know that, right? So there has to be other reasons. And so we create those other reasons in the community that we've been able to create. And the other cool thing is, and this has already been said, I think you said it earlier in this broadcast, is that watching other leaders come in, it's not all on our shoulders. They just keep piling it on and piling more value to the point where it's like, man, how do you even compete?
You can't. You'd be crazy to bet against. If you bet against eXp at this stage, you're betting against eXp and everyone in it. Everyone. And I mean, it is a roster of the best in the industry, period. Yeah. And so that's such a great point. I'm glad you pointed that out because there's so much value being translated down to all the agents that are joining. It's insane. There's somebody made a post in here say, what's up, Chuck Fazio? What's up, John Marone? What's up, Dennis? A few other people. Steve Pemberton asked, how do you convince someone that they're not too late? So let me explain how you're not too late. So in the 4 years that we've been here, what is it? Probably 50,000 agents have joined. 50, maybe 60,000 agents have joined eXp. More than that, 60,000. So
66,000 right now. There were 4,000 when I joined, 5 when you joined.
Right. So out of 60,000 agents, only let me tell you how many I personally have sponsored. Okay. So I personally sponsored 92 agents. It's more than that when you count attrition. I think the last I looked, it was 132. It was 2.86 agents per month. If anybody wants to throw these numbers in the comments, I would appreciate it. But 2.86 agents per month. That's it. Right. So like not a lot of people. It's not even one person a week. And I did it consistently for 4 years. Okay. And that's turned into 7,300 ish agents, whatever the number is right now. And so that is it's a large percentage, but it is a small percentage of the overall agents in the company. Our expectations for the next 3 years, okay, the next 3 years, 150,000 agents, I think is kind of the realistic number that we're looking at. Just really, I'm thinking US and Canada. I'm not sure how they're splitting that up as far as looking at projections and whatnot. And then international is a absolute wild west. We have 19 countries open now. We're going to 100 countries. You're crazy if you don't think you could have. Just imagine having 1,000 people underneath you. 1,000 people is roughly depending on seasonality and how many transactions everybody closes and all that kind of stuff, is probably going to be somewhere between 700 and 750,000 is what it has been in the past. Maybe a little bit less than that, but somewhere right in that range. And so to make $750,000, you just have to have 1,000 agents. And so that's if you think that you're too late, then you're too late. You're right. But it's just not true. And so when you look at what we're going to grow triple almost of what we have, at least double what we have in the next 3 years that we did the last 4 years. In the next 4 years, I think we probably will triple that. And so the opportunity is bigger now than it has been. Plus, it was way harder to bring anyone to eXp in the first 2 years that we were here. So people that came early on, and some of them came and went because we didn't have all the systems dialed in. We hadn't opened all the states. We hadn't opened all the provinces in Canada. We had some leadership and some issues that we had to change. That had to change hands. But credit to Jason Gessing and Glenn Sanford for making the hard decisions of turning over people in key positions and getting to the right people like Dave Kennard, who we were grateful to have for the ride that we had him for, right? Like what amazing people that we've been able to have. And if they hadn't made those decisions, man, we would have just run up against brick wall after brick wall. But because we're agile and because Glenn believes in being agile, we've been moving around things like, okay, that person ain't gonna work. We got to change this, we got to do that different. It's just, we're like water moving around people. And so it's just incredible to see from the inside. And I don't know what people think they see from the outside, but from the inside, I just see brilliant management, brilliant leadership, brilliant business strategy, brilliant business model, unbeatable altogether when you add everything to it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of, like you had mentioned Dave Kennard. We can talk about Chris Bear. And I know I'm leaving another person out just off the top of my head, who was a C-level corporate executive with the company, who had a huge hand in helping growth, that actually resigned the position, not to leave eXp, but to focus on growing their own company and their own organization because their revenue share exceeded their salaries,
Right.
So then and so that, I'll tell you,
Right.
that's an indicator.
Hello.
That model might be onto something. And yeah, man, it's been a real, I pinch myself every day, Jay. I mean,
Yep.
I want to go back again, because since this is the 4-year thing, when we were in Dallas, the other thing we did was, because this is just how our brains work, is we're always A to B. What's our B? What's our goal? Where are we going? And I remember that our first goal we set was for like Q1, 2018's Q1. By the end of Q1, I think, excuse me, I think we wanted 100 agents. Like that was our stretch goal.
Right.
We ended up with over 400.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've always undershot. And most of the time whenever we set, at least when I set goals for my real estate, team and brokerage, I set aggressively high goals and we try to hit them. And a lot of times I would just fall short of the goal. It didn't mean that we weren't doing well and winning, but I'd fall short of the goal. You
didn't 4X it. That never happened in your real estate business.
Opposite. Best decision, Kevin Call. What's going on, buddy? Mr. Fazio.
John Rowe makes a good point too. As many new agents, I can't remember the numbers, several 100,000 people get a real estate license every year. Like the opportunity is never, it's never been bigger than it is right now. You're crazy if you believe that. Yeah. Don't fall for that. Like don't sit there and tell yourself a story. It's just not true. It's just not. Yeah. And I'll tell you proof of that too. And I didn't get a chance. I was going to go through and look at how many people in our group that are making over $1 million or will make $1 million like in the next year. And it was last time I looked, it was over 25 or 30 that we know for sure, right, that are on pace. And then you can see the next tier of them that are coming up too, that will in the next 2 years. And then the next tier that's coming as well. You can see your leaders within the organization that are doing the work.
Let's be clear though. That's 25 people who are clearing over $1 million a year in revenue share.
Yeah, that's a new revenue stream.
Revenue share,
right.
Whether they get out of bed or not, they're making
Passive.
that.
Right.
And so, Coach brought it up again. Actually, I was with Coach this weekend with the couples retreat, but it was all people that were like us. Coach Bird calls them monsters, right? So and so it's just basically living with someone who's a driver, who's always looking to build, and they're an entrepreneur and they have that spirit in them, right? We're not always the easiest to live with sometimes, right? So it was a great.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah. So we're there, and what was kind of cool was it was people from all different industries. It wasn't just a bunch of real estate brokers and team leaders and stuff like that. It was all different industries. And Coach stood up there and said what you just said, is that I believe that if not now, everyone will be moving toward passive income, or should be moving toward passive income. And what are all the ways that you can earn passive income? And obviously one is, you can save a bunch of money. You can save $5, $6, $7 million in the bank and live off that 4 or 5%, interest. That's one way to do it. Another way would be to buy rental property and real estate, which I know you're doing, I'm doing. We're doing that with our passive. We're taking our passive income and buying more.
Right.
But there's nowhere where I could see where you could put the smallest amount of investment. And most of that investment for us has been in time and plane tickets to grow the passive income to what we've grown. I don't know how many apartment doors you'd have to buy, to get to the passive levels that we've been able to achieve in 4 years, but it's a lot. It's a lot of
the thing is you would have to have so much excess cash after taxes in order to just buy one asset at a time. That the amount of money that you would need to be making and saving and clearing after taxes to invest in order to hopefully, and again, hopefully, you're just because you're buying real properties don't mean you're making passive income. I wrote checks in 2007, 8, and 9, and 10. I wrote checks of $6,000 or more to my rental properties every single month. So a downturn in the market can wipe you out and take you back to zero. And so don't try to fool yourself and think that you're on a plan that's going to get you there in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, or the next 4 years. Like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, guys. Like, I can't underscore enough. I've never seen a passive income opportunity that doesn't require capital investment that compounds monthly. The agents are growing whether or not we talk to them or not, because agents tell agents who tell agents who tell agents. And that I have to address this every time, because I still think people don't understand the business model, and they don't truly understand why this is so disruptive and why agents even have this opportunity in the first place. When you look at the franchise model, by the way, my dad's Coldwell Banker franchise is finally coming due in February. Guess who he's coming to join? Finally. Right.
Right.
So it's been announced. So subtly announced. So I'm excited. I'm excited for him because it was a dead end business model. And for years, I don't even know what the math would be for how much he's paid as a Coldwell Banker franchise owner. How much he paid. He bought that as an opportunity and paid Coldwell Banker 6% plus 2.5% ad fee or whatever since 1997. I don't even know how much money it is. I can tell you there's not a lot of value in it. But when you look at the way these companies grew, all of them, your Keller Williams, Remaxes, Century 21s, ERAs, Coldwell Bankers, all the major ones, the franchises, they had somebody who owned regions. None of us ever saw one with a for sale sign on it because that was a long time ago before we were born. And those regions were bought, and those regions were opportunities for someone to earn revenue share off the agents in that region. As they sold franchises to people who built brick and mortar offices, these agents would pay a little royalty that goes up to the top. They share the royalty with the regional owners. That regional person knew what they were buying. They were buying maybe $500,000. They're buying a revenue share opportunity for a region, a certain territory. When Glenn Sanford decided to go cloud-based, with a cloud-based company, it eliminated the need for any territories. There's no reason to have territories because you don't have one person that's buying this opportunity, but you need a mechanism for growth. And so Glenn's a smart guy. He understands what is the compensation plan in any business model that is the most aggressive, that would attract the most talent. Because if you can through your business model without having to have the hard costs. By the way, he bootstrapped this all the way to how many ever $1 billion company it is. If you want to know what the next whatever you call it, docuseries that should be on Netflix should be, it should be about Glenn Sanford, because that in and of itself is the most amazing part of the whole story. The bootstrap this whole damn thing. But he did it through leverage and creating a new currency and revenue share of letting the agents. He's leveraged all of us to help him build the company. He's leveraged every agent in the company now has an opportunity that didn't exist before. You have a new revenue stream that didn't exist before. We all know people. We all have clients that get into real estate. We all have clients that move off to another market, get into real estate. We all know agents that aren't happy where they're at. If you just tell a few of them over time, it will turn into something. It could turn into something, and even with just a little bit of effort, it might just pay your house payment. If your house payment was paid, your car payment was paid, your electric bills were paid, if all your main bills were paid, don't you think that would make it a lot easier to continue selling real estate, or to maybe at some time stop selling real estate? It's just another opportunity that's there's nothing like it. And the leverage is in people telling other people. I think it was 400 and something agents that joined in the last 30 days. I don't know how many of them I talked to, but it probably wasn't more than 25 or 30 of them. I would guess it probably was way less than that. And so things start happening that aren't requiring your effort. And that's where you get leverage. That's the leverage in the model. And so, it's crazy. It's crazy
think about
fun.
this too, Jay. Think about what's one of the number one causes of health issues in America. And
stress, money stress.
So think about it like this. Think about it when you're able to grow your business, that your business is working harder for you than you are for it. And you've been able to obtain that revenue stream that's coming in that's passive. Think about, I could tell you the level of stress that I had then when I was working 12, 14 hours, which by the way, that used to be our badge of honor. Grind, 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 man. I don't stop. Hey, I don't look at Mondays like that. I don't look forward to the weekend. Let me tell you right now, I look forward to the weekend. By the way, my weekends start earlier than yours now. Not yours, Jay. I'm saying to the person who's out there grinding, I'm about flow. I'm about flowing right now. And with that comes a lower level of stress. So think about that in terms of your health, especially for real estate agents. It's a stressful business. We're negotiating, we're dealing with difficult people sometimes. We're helping people solve big problems. And with that comes stress. So now your health can be positively affected because of the revenue stream that brings in. Which, speaking of health, now we have health services for real estate agents. It's again, he looked at a problem. Glenn found a problem for real estate agents and then went ahead and solved it. Now we have great health plans. People are saving half of what they were paying on their monthly premium with the health plans that are offered through eXp's healthcare programs, the various programs that they have. And that's something that didn't exist.
Better healthcare. Better healthcare.
Better healthcare.
Not cheaper, better.
I mean,
not just cheaper, better.
Here's one thing we didn't see coming. 4 years ago, when we were on this very platform, Facebook Live, announcing that you were coming over, would you have, if I would have said, Jay, in 4 years, we're going to be doing one of these together, but you're going to be living in Puerto Rico? You'd have been like,
yeah, that wasn't on the vision board.
Early?
Yeah. No. And you know what? Let's talk let's future pace this out a little bit. So there's going to be an enormous amount of wealth transferred to real estate agents that move to this company. And I can already tell you one of the biggest challenges with making the kind of money that you make is knowing what to do with it. And so being in Puerto Rico, and especially in this neighborhood that we live in, there are some of the most impressive and interesting and super successful people that you would ever possibly meet. Now, I try to run in pretty good circles my whole life, but I've never ran in circles like this circle. And so we're only going to create more wealth, and we're only going to turn that into adding more value to more people's lives. That's all. I mean, that at the end of the day, I don't know anybody that's joined us that wants to make all the money so they can sit at home and do nothing. Like, we're all inspired to add more value to people's lives and make a difference in the world. And this company is just allowing us to do that. But the future, the future, and the investments, the things that you can misstep on when you're trying to grind it out. And like, I misstepped on buying investment properties in Lawton, Oklahoma. If someone would have been presented to me better opportunities, I would have been looking at them, but nobody was. So what I do, I did what I knew in my own marketplace, invested in rental property. And they have not gone up in value since the day that I bought them. Not at all, like literally none. Recently they have a little bit, but there's just no, man, you just a few degrees difference can be the difference in your life and where you end up in life. And we're fortunate, and hopefully this is starting to make sense to people, and they're starting to listen, because it's crazy to keep doing whatever the heck it is you're doing. It's crazy.
I wanted to mention one other thing that you had said earlier in this broadcast that was talked about this weekend down at Coach's Place in Florida, and it was about changing the. I was in a room with about 15 couples, most of which were making all over 7-figure incomes. At least most of them were. So money wasn't an issue. It really wasn't. That's not what they weren't there to just learn how to make more money. But they were there to learn how to restructure their current business. Their current business was making lots of money. And you might be in a business. You're talking about, if you're a level 10 person, you're a level 10 player, you need to take a serious look. Are you in a level 5 business structure? Mm-hmm. It's not that your business is bad. You might be making lots of money. Good for you. That's great. Congratulations. You're definitely doing things the right way. But if you're going to look yourself in the mirror and be 100% honest, what does the opportunity look like that you're in? Is the opportunity going to be dependent on you getting up and continuously grinding, running on that treadmill, running on the hamster wheel, transaction? That was one of the themes that we talked about this weekend with Coach was, are you transactional? You know, Jay Abraham said it in that video best. He's like, I coached all the best of the best. And these coaching companies that we had, yeah, they make a lot of money, but they're really not worth a whole lot. Even his own. He was talking about his own.
He said it's so nonchalant. He said, this is what he said to me. He said this literally let me just set the stage for this. Okay. So I am probably 27 years old, somewhere in that range, maybe 26, somewhere in there. And I'm at the time doing 400 or 500 deals a year in real estate. And I'm still excited. I still got some grind in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Let's do another one. Let's build it. Let's duplicate. Let's do whatever. And so I'm asking Jay Abraham, I said, listen, learned a lot from you today while we were here. I said, what we see is an opportunity to replicate what we're doing in other places, whatever. And I was asking, what questions should I be asking to know that we're ready to do that? And then he started answering that question. He said, what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't start a coaching company. He's like, you might make $1 million, but your $1 million ain't worth $1 million. And what he was saying was, you might make a $10 million income and you might take home $1 million in that coaching company, which is exactly what we did. But your $1 million ain't worth $1 million, meaning no matter what I do, I can't sell that company for more. What's up, Snoop? That $1 million wasn't worth $1 million. I couldn't sell the coaching company. I couldn't sell my own real estate company. The reason we joined eXp was because I did the research and I looked at what was this business we were going to be building, going to be worth with 2,000 partners. By December 20, our goal was 2,000 partners by December 27th, 2024. I think it was whatever Friday that is. And that was the vision that we had. And what's it going to be worth? It's going to be worth 1.5 to maybe 3 times EBITDA. If I don't screw it up somewhere along the way, right? Like, that's assuming I actually successfully built that company. And that's buying you with your own money. Basically, you're not getting anything more than the profits you get for a couple of years is what it boils down to. And so it's just not worth it. You're not building something of value. You're not building an asset. You might as well be in stock in a publicly traded company that's a multi-billion-dollar company that's going to be one of the most valuable companies in the history of real estate. Already it's worth more than Realty. What we had them up. It was all the Realty, Remax, and a handful of other publicly traded companies were already more valuable than those companies are. And we're just getting started. Like, we're just at the absolute tipping point. Like, now's the time. Now is the time. So
one other thing that happened 4 years ago, right before this broadcast that we did 4 years ago, is we went to Florida. And you and I, John Kitchens and Mr. Gadosh, and who else was with us? Ryan was there. There was a handful. Yeah. Alex was there. And we were there just checking things out. And I had already
You'd already checked it out.
I had jumped in the pond without testing, nothing. I was just like, I'm in, but we all wanted to really meet the leadership, which I hadn't had a chance to do. And we got an opportunity to sit down with Glenn Sanford and had lunch with him. And he casted that vision out. It was one of the, I think, biggest reasons that made me feel great about the decision, but then tipped you right over the scales and okay, this is the jockey I'm betting on.
Yep.
And the reason is he did talk about Amazon, and he goes, guys, you remember Amazon was started just selling books. That's just where the first thing they disrupted was books. And it really made me think bigger. Like, this guy's got a bigger vision than just even the real estate piece of this. This eXp World International, which is our holding company, is buying other companies in businesses that, I'm not saying that they're not involved in real estate, but we went ahead and we purchased Success Magazine. Why would a real estate company that primarily is a real estate company, why would they buy Success Magazine? And it's because he's so brilliant with his vision. You can't grow your business unless you're personally growing. You can't improve anyone else's business unless you're personally improving yourself. And what better way to do that than align with one of the most successful, publications that's really ever, that's just an iconic company. Would you agree?
100%. Everybody. Yeah, we've all, anybody that I know that's been around very long knows a Success Magazine. Over 100 years it's been around. It was like the birthing of everything self-development. And so yeah, can that be aligned to help you with your career? Could you layer success over what you're doing, the success brand, and that help you with your business? Absolutely, you could. And so he's got a lot of ideas in the hopper that we'll see how things play out. But brilliant. Like, that's just moves that most people don't think to make.
Exactly. I mean, I questioned it not because I thought it was a wrong move. I just didn't understand.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it either. Until we were sitting there in the room. Fortunately, we were invited because we were all in Dallas at the same time for the announcement. But like, until I was in the room, I was like, oh man, he thinks just the way we think. Like, we did it with NAEA and Real Estate Experts Today and magazine tear sheets and things, and leveraging that brand to position you as an expert. He was seeing the same things with Success, which is just a much, much more superior brand.
Here's another one, man. That build conference that our good friend, Mr. Gove and James Stroop put on.
Yep.
I mean, I've never personally, just me, and I've only experienced being part of Century 21, good company, Remax, good company. I've never seen an agent at either of those companies throw a 6,000 person event and hire Tony freaking Robbins to fly in his jet and coach everybody for a day. Never seen that happen.
No, I haven't. Have not seen that anywhere close to that.
I mean, just like it's allowing us now. That was not an eXp corporate event. That was one of our top earners and agents, and he's one of my favorite human beings on the planet. If you don't know Brent Gove, I mean, just a class act human being, and put on stroked the check to get Tony Robbins to come and help everyone with their personal development and taking their personal growth to the next level. Never seen it ever like that before. And it only happens here. Doesn't happen at any other company I'm aware of.
No, it doesn't. No doubt.
Good stuff.
Man, it's been a great 4 years, man. We are just getting started. That's all I can tell you. The thing that you can count on that's coming is we're gonna find ways to add more value. We're gonna find more ways to scale that and give it to everybody. We're gonna find ways to help you with growing your business. We're gonna continue to pour into you. We're gonna continue to do events. We're gonna continue to help you in every way we can. And so, if you're not feeling that way where you're at, you might want to think about coming over and joining the party.
Yeah, and if you're interested and you have some questions, you can reach out to Jay. Send him a message on either Instagram, Facebook. Send me a message, Instagram, Facebook. Send Michael Reese a message, Instagram, Facebook. Those are the easiest ways to get a hold of us. I don't know about your calendar, but my calendar is fairly open. Yours maybe not so much.
Not the next 2 weeks. We got eXpCon the next week, and next week I'll be in St. Thomas for a week. So yeah, mine's a little bit blocked out. So message me. I'll get to you. I promise. Yeah,
and if you can't get a hold of him, get a hold of me, and we'll circle those wagons back around, and we'll make sure that we get back to you and get your questions answered. But reach out. Don't say no to what you don't know you're saying no to.
That is
get your information.
True.
Get your information.
Yeah.
Get it from
assume
the right
that you're
source.
wrong. Just start with assuming that you're wrong and try to figure out where. And if you take that approach and you start digging, you'll find the gold that we found, and we'll help you find it. We'll help you dig it up. All right, guys. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Take care,
man.
y'all.
Here's the next 4.
Let's do it.
Let's go.